What's going on, guys? It's Taylor the Barber that does haircut subscriptions, aka Mr. Shaper, Taper, Scraper, and welcome to the Tap In with Teo podcast. Right now, I got my man Joe Diaz in the building. How you doing, man?
Chilling, bro.
You all right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's get right into it, man. You do HVAC right now,
Yep.
right? Just got fresh out of work, man. Got the dirty boots on and all, man. What got you into it, man? And when'd you get started?
So what really got me into it was my dad. So I remember when I was younger, probably about 7, 8 years old, during the winter. I remember the first time I actually went on a job with him was a day we had off on school.
Yeah.
And one of his homies called him up and asked him if he could come check out his heater. And that's kind of like what started it off. Like my dad seen I liked it. So he started, taking me all the time, kind of teaching me. And I slowly started grasping it. And like, I was like, yeah, this is cool. I always thought working with tools and working with my hands was like, it was a gift because not everybody can do it.
Right.
And then I kind of went through school and it was something that I started doing less and less because my dad, as he got a little older, he did it less and less. Like, it's a real physical demanding job. And I kind of like, stopped even thinking about it for a while. But then I got to my senior year of high school and I was like, damn, I really don't know what to do. Like I did real good in high school, got good grades and everything, but I didn't see myself.
By that time, by like a senior year of high school, you were doing it, right?
No, I actually started kind of after I graduated.
So you haven't even like tried it out yet?
No, I didn't try it out. All the only experience I had with it was doing it with my dad, them jobs I did with him when I was younger, up until I was probably like, 13, 14 years old.
Okay.
But then like my whole high school thing, like I started looking at, different things because you hear 1,000,001 people. Like I had a lot of people in my life who was like, oh no, don't do this, don't do that. Like go to college, like this. And they're like, oh, you got a gift. Like you're real smart and everything. And like, like I did appreciate them trying to like, kind of make me use my abilities and stuff. But at the same time, it's not what I wanted to do. Like I knew if I went to college, I wouldn't have been motivated. Like I didn't see myself sitting in school for another 4 to 8 years, to get a degree just to start making decent money. Yeah. I was like, I want to work now as young as I can. And, in 10 years, I'm only going to be 30. That's still young. That's going to be a lot under my belt. Yeah. So, I was going through high school and there was 1,000,001 different things I looked at, but like my dad always kept that HVAC thing around. Like, he would talk to me about it. He's like, yo, like, you're young. Get into it. There's a lot of new stuff coming out, a lot of new positions. They're making good money, and like it was always like intriguing to me and it was real interesting. And he always like kept it in the loop in my head, like, you could always do that. And then it got to the point in my senior year where I was like really like thinking about what to do because, like time was ticking and I didn't want to be one of those people that graduated and just like kind of sat around for a while just because like,
definitely me.
Yeah, my dad was the same person. Like my dad didn't like school and everything, but he always tried to make me like, do things as quick as possible because you don't have a lot of time. Like, your time frame closes quick. Yeah. And, the older you get and the later you start something, the less time you have. That's why he's like, start young and try to be like ahead of the game. Cause, people.
Would you say your dad really influenced your mindset?
100%. My dad, growing up was probably like the biggest like impact on my life because like I've told you before in previous conversations, like I grew up with a lot of friends who didn't have father figures. Mm-hmm. So like, I know there was a lot of times I get mad at him for, trying to keep my head on straight and stuff. But at the end of the day, like I know he's trying to look out for me. Like, he's making sure I'm doing good by like for me and then good for my family as well. So I feel like, definitely like he played, a big part. And then when I that's why I also bring up like my older brother too, because I feel like both of them, like seeing the type of like men that they were.
What's the age difference between?
So my brother is 4 years older than me. Like, he's 4 years older than me, and then
and you're 20, right?
Yeah, 20. Yeah. So he's 24, and like me and him kind of grew up being best friends, like doing everything together. We had our rough years, but you know how it is, like with brothers, like we disagree sometimes. But at the end of the day, like, he always made sure like I was doing my stuff, just like my dad. Like, did you do your homework? Did you do this? Did you do that? And then, he was also one of the people who supported me when I talked about doing HVAC. I talked about it with him and my dad, and they're like, yeah, I feel like you'd do good if you go to school for it.
How long was school?
School was 9 months. I think 9 months and 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's about the hair program.
Yeah, that's 9 months long. Like you could do day or night. Night takes a lot longer. I think night's like like 14 months or something like that. So, but I did day school, and then kind of just went from there. And like school kind of actually made me like it more, because then you start getting more into depth with it, and you start learning like the science behind it. You start learning all the laws and stuff. And I feel like it was definitely like a boring process sometimes. It's school, but at the same time, it was kind of like I felt like I was doing something, and then it also made me feel good because I was the youngest in my class. Like
now, when you go to school for that, is it like a degree, a certificate, a license? Like what is?
So I would say it's like a degree and a certificate,
because you're certified.
Yeah, you're certified, but like it's like a diploma, like and then it is licensed as well. Like you have to get a couple different licenses. You get your EPA, which is the license that you kind of need to work on the equipment. Yeah. And then like you get your OSHA. OSHA's like any construction like type job where you're working with heavy equipment, you got to get OSHA. Like that's like required. And then you got the
OSHA. I think they did that for the barber license. I remember seeing that.
Yep. Yeah. Any like workforce thing, like you got to get the OSHA for it. But then like it's definitely like I said, you got to take a test. Like you take the test. I think in my school, I think it's probably different for every other school, but for my school, it was I think we took it at our 7-month mark or something like that. Like and you study for it, and then you get, I think it was 3 tries to pass it, and then if you don't pass it, then you gotta go and take the test on your own somewhere else. Like, but it was intimidating 100% because it wasn't an easy test. Like, they definitely had us like go through the material a lot. Like we had to day in and day out. Like when it was getting closer to the test, our teacher would probably like have us study for like more than 6 hours in that one day, because our classes were about like 8.5 hours long, something like that. We got out around like 3:00. Got there at 7. So yeah.
And how many days a week?
All 5. Monday through Friday. Yeah.
Now, would you say going through that process with school and all that, you think that changed your perspective a little bit?
Yeah, I would say so. Like it definitely, I feel like it changed my views in a lot of ways, because I was so like it got drilled in my mind so much from like hearing from a bunch of different people. Like I even had old friends try to sit there and tell me like, "Oh, bro, like this ain't the thing to do. Like like this and this, do this and that." And like it used to make me like question like damn, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah, did you second guess it like while you were in school?
There was times where I felt like I wasn't gonna be able to do it.
Really?
Like not second guessing it in choice of like, oh, I feel like I made the wrong decision. But there was definitely times in school when I was like, I really have to make sure like I'm doing my thing when I do this, because once you fall behind, you fall behind. Like,
and you went into this fresh out of high school?
Fresh out of high school. That's literally cool, like I graduated June. I started September. So I was supposed to start beginning of September, but my class got delayed. We wound up starting like September 26th.
That's a great route right there.
Yeah. Bro. As soon as I graduated, it was something like real heavy on my mind. I had a couple friends who were like, they were trying to still figure things out. Like they wanted to take a break.
I took that year off and then wasted another year in college, got kicked out. And then I started working in barbershops and worrying about getting my hair license, which is what I wanted to do the whole time. So I'm mad that like I kind of wasted that time, but I got it now. So,
I mean, to me, in my opinion, it's as long as you do something like
no regrets.
Yeah, no regrets.
All learning experience.
Yeah, like like sometimes it just takes you a little longer to figure out what you want to do. Yeah. Like my brother's a primary.
Well, I kind of knew what I wanted to do. I was just wasting my time. Like I guess listening to those people that you were ignoring.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like. And that's why I do like, because there was 100% times where I was like, a year off don't sound bad, or this and that, like, take time to myself or whatever. And
so what made you think that like you needed to get right into it?
Honestly, like
instead of doing it later, like, I graduated high school. Let me take a little break.
Honestly, like I could say, my dad and stuff, but what really made me get into it is that like, I've always like been a person where I like doing things like as quick as possible. Like I like trying to get to the point where it's like I can be young and still have a long time in doing this. Like, I want to be that young person you see with like 10 years of experience. Like, oh, but you're only 29, you're only 30. You know what I mean? But like, I kind of always liked that. And when I was like graduating high school and stuff, I was so like scared and so anxious to fall behind that it like really put me in that mode that it was like, no, I got to do something now. Like, I don't want to waste
How were your grades in school?
Grades were great. I had a 3.8 GPA. Like,
Yeah.
I did real good. Like,
I graduated straight D's.
oh no, yeah, like
straight D's.
I always kind of liked school. Like, there was a
Yeah.
lot of subjects I liked. Like, I loved English. I loved social studies. I loved all of that. Like, I had fun in school.
Yeah.
I went to a trade school too, so we did a lot of fun projects. And I'd say the only subject which I feel like is universal to everybody is algebra. That's the only thing I think that's the only thing I used to get like low B's in. That's what used to mess up my GPA.
Yeah,
but other than that, like, I did pretty good. Like, but I also feel like academically my high school.
When I did that year in college, they had me in elementary algebra.
For real?
In college. Yeah. I was like, I thought this was college. How y'all name a class elementary? Like,
no, yeah.
I didn't even know they did algebra in elementary school.
I didn't even know that. No, I didn't do algebra in elementary school. I did regular math. Yeah, regular math.
What does anything is possible mean to you?
To me, anything is possible. I think it quite literally means like, anything is possible. I just feel like it falls down to your mindset. Like, it falls down to the type of person that you are, and you don't let other people define that. You know what I mean? Like, you really take what you want to do and you go for it. You don't let that one negative comment make you go home at night and be like, damn, is this right what I'm doing? Am I doing good? Am I going to make it? And that's what I feel like anything is possible means, is because anything really is possible as long as you're willing to put that work in and to take that time out of your day to make sure the things that need to get done. Like,
do you believe in there's no failure, there's only quitting?
Yeah, I would say I'm a believer in that, because I feel like you keep trying, and you keep doing it. Eventually, you're going to get there. Like, you quit, you don't know if you're going to make it. Like, you just stop. That doesn't mean you couldn't do it. That means you didn't want to do it. And that's that's like my
usually
opinion
you give up before you fail.
Exactly.
You can't fail till you give up.
Like, there's a bunch of things that I failed at in life, that I probably wanted to try. I did YouTube when I was a kid, and me and my older brother, we made videos, and it was great. Like, it was fun, but like, we didn't get no views, we didn't get no videos. That's something I gave up on. It's not something that I couldn't do. It's something that I stopped doing. Like, that, to me, that's exactly what it is, because I feel like you can do anything that you really put your mind to. You just gotta be willing to do it.
There's a will, there's a way.
Exactly. And I feel like it just, like I said, it comes down to mindset. Like, at the end of the day, like,
how do you push yourself on your off days, on the days you don't feel motivated? Because not everybody's gonna feel motivated all the time.
Honestly, like, my family, they're great. Like, just waking up, like, I'm always in a good mood, kind of. Like, I have my bad days where I wake up and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do nothing today. But like, being as close to my family as I am, it definitely gives me that extra motivation, because, I got a dad in my life who texts me, every day, good morning, have a good day. That's a moral booster for me. I got the same thing with my girlfriend. She texts me all the time, like, oh, like, I'm proud of you and stuff. Like, and I just feel like it really does, like, motivate me to want to do good, to want to do great, and like, really make it in life. And then also, when I see like younger people doing good in life and like they're my age, I'm like, oh, like, I could be doing that right now too. I just got to put that work in. And, I like seeing results. Like, I like seeing how far I come. And I think back to when I was in high school, and like, my life changed a lot in 2 years. I feel like my life was completely different.
It was just 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago. Like, I feel like it was, completely different. And, I definitely do say, like, being patient is a really good thing to do, because when you're not patient, it makes you feel like, always makes you feel like, miserable in my opinion. Like, I used to be real impatient with my life, because I felt like I was behind. Like, I was in high school, I was taking a bus every day. My friends had cars, everybody, all the other seniors, they had cars. They were doing good. Like, I felt bad because I'm sitting there, I'm taking the bus. I got to pay $250 every day just to get on the bus.
I was building character, man.
Yeah. And I feel like, my dad, he would always tell me, like, keep your head up. Like, don't compare your life to yours, because you don't know what they got going on. They don't know what you got going on. Y'all live in two different lives. And that's
some people that look like they living good going through it.
Yeah, going through it.
Yeah, something crazier than you going through.
Yeah, and like, he used to tell me all the time, watching a year, watching 2 years, look at where you're gonna be and then look at where they're at.
Yeah.
And I could wholeheartedly say, like, he was telling the truth. Like,
what would you say separates you from other people your age?
Mindset. I feel like a lot of people have, fear of missing out of fun, and fear of, like, not being looked at as cool, and caring about too many other people's opinions. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care about looking cool. I don't care if I walk down the street and somebody looks at me and is like, oh, like, you know, he got good looking clothes on. He got a nice
He got
car.
work boots
He
on.
got work boots. Like, I could really care less about somebody else's opinion, especially when it's not somebody that's important to me.
Yeah.
You know, my brother gives me an opinion, my dad, my mom. That's something that's like, you know, I think about those things.
Right. You value their opinion.
Those, you know, those people are important in my life. But, you know, and I feel like, especially in my generation, since my generation is the generation where social media blew up a lot, people kind of like, you know, social media changed a lot of people's lives and perspective on how they should live. They're like, they see somebody doing something online, they got to do that in real life because they're like, oh, that's what's trending, that's what's cool.
What's crazy, I was just thinking about this today. I started cutting around the time like I think Facebook was just coming out. Like I still had a MySpace when I was cutting. So like there's this like been this big wave with like Instagram and TikTok, and like now everybody wants to be a barber because they think like, oh, I'm gonna just grab me some clippers, say I'm a barber, and boom, I get noticed. Everybody's trying to be noticed or like go like the trends, you know. And back when I started, there wasn't that. It was just like real life barbers, and that's it. Like barbers didn't like if they had like a Facebook or a MySpace, you probably didn't even know they were a barber. Exactly. That wasn't a thing back then. You had like YouTubers that were doing like tutorials here and there, but that's about it.
That was about it. Exactly. Yeah.
What 3 habits should young men build now? I guess one you said mindset, having a good mindset. What are 2 others?
I feel like confidence is a big thing too, like because that kind of goes into play with mindset. Like I feel like you got to be confident enough to try things, like confident enough to have a voice, or like, you know, not let that shyness or nervousness like, you know, break you down. Let it build you up. Like use that, you know, as like as a fuel in life to want to conquer something, like to want to get comfortable with something. You know, like
what would you tell somebody that didn't know where to start?
Find the passion. Like me personally, I would say like, you know, try some things out. Don't be, you know, close-minded, be open-minded. Like try new things that you never even thought about before. You might wind up liking it. Because I work with some people who do HVAC and they never thought about it. Like I work with a coworker who's around my age too, and like he's doing real good, just bought his own house and everything, he's 22, you know, and before he did HVAC, he was doing, I'm pretty sure, he's working at Starbucks or Chick-fil-A or something like that. No idea what he wanted to do.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys, bro, they're in their 20s, and they'll just go, because like I live on Aramingo, and you know, we got all them fast food places and all them stores. And like in his 20s, if he needs a job, he goes for a walk on Aramingo and just looks for places right there. And wonders why he ain't nowhere. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
That's, you know, that's what I try to tell
people like older than you know, they're just looking for Starbucks.
Because they get complacent, they get comfortable. They don't see themselves Chick-fil-A. Doing something bigger than that. Like, they see themselves working how everybody else is working. And that's exactly where I feel like people get stuck at. Trying to be like everybody else, or trying to just live that comfortable life. Like me and you said the other day.
They just come home and play 2K. You know?
Exactly. You know, like me, I'd much rather do the hard work and then enjoy life when I'm a little older. I feel like I'm young and I'm like, you know, working hard because this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And I feel like when I get older, that's when I start being able to chill. Like, but that's because I built my assets, I built my career, you know, like I'm doing good in life. I don't feel like I'm doing good in life right now. I feel like I'm working hard, but I want to get to that point where it's like I can be comfortable because I got the career that says that. You know, I built that up myself. But I can't sit there and be comfortable when it's like I don't feel like I could go to the stores and buy whatever I want, or like, you know, just sit there and be comfortable with the money I got in my bank account, you know? So I feel like it comes with time. And like back on what you said about like people's like mindsets, like my age, or like, you know, what they're doing, or like the character traits. I just feel like, you know, having a good mindset, you know, being confident. And then I would say like just staying, like, you know, having a good character, like, you know, staying true to yourself. Like to me, that is what is important. Like too many people get stuck up on what somebody thinks of them, like, you know, and I just feel like that really does affect like how you carry yourself and how you like care about your own life.
I feel like you gotta love yourself to not care what anybody else.
100%. You know, like this is why I say, like, you know, do the things that, you know, focus on you. Don't do the things that focus on other people. You want to start going to the gym, start going to the gym in the morning. You want to feel better about yourself because you seen a video online of somebody looking good. do something about it. You know what I mean?
Something about it, yeah.
Don't just sit there and have these fantasies and not do anything about
I
it.
was just watching that show. It's from the early 2000s called Biggest Loser.
Yeah.
You remember that, John?
Yeah, I know what it is.
I forgot that John even existed, but I was on Netflix. They have like a documentary on it, like what their experience on that show was like. You know, totally forgot that John existed. But just watching that, bro, I'm just like, you know, like people will let themselves get that crazy, and it's like, you know, it was bothering them, and a lot of them stayed on the show and damn near died because it was bothering them that much, and they didn't have nothing to go home to. You know, like it's crazy, but. Yeah, it's all about, if you see a problem, do something about it. If you see something you want, go get it. You know, acquire what you admire. That's what they say.
100%. That's why, to me, it starts from the very first minute that you open up your eyes. Like, have that organized life so you're not unorganized living your life. Yeah. You know, make sure you got, even if it's the smallest little things, make sure your room's clean. You know, make sure you got, clean clothes to wear, this and that. I feel like that all affects it. Like, you know, getting up early to me is a very good thing because you get to utilize the time in your day more. Like,
the young barber I was just interviewing that you were seeing me edit.
Yeah,
that was the last episode I did last week, and he was saying that he grew up in a household because I was asking like, oh, what was early life like? You know, like were you always a hustler? Because that's what he's doing. He's cutting hair, doing all kinds of stuff. And he said, I grew up in a household where we had to get up at like 9 a.m. latest, you know, like if we didn't have school, we still waking up early, doing yard work, you know, they always had them moving, you know, and I think that's definitely a good habit.
100%. Yeah.
Definitely. During school, going to school, fresh out of high school, what were some sacrifices you took to get where you are now, you know, the sacrifices to get through school and stuff like that?
So the very first thing when I went to college was I had to get rid of my job. So
where were you working?
I was working at Starbucks. I was working at Starbucks.
We were just talking about Starbucks.
Yep, I was there for about a year, and that was my only source of income at the time. Like, the only money that I was making, and like I was trying to sit there and save because I wanted to get a car and everything. So that's something that I kind of had to pause. Like, I put that on pause because I was like, dang, like what's more important? And it was hard for me to find a job in the afternoon. Like, I was looking, I couldn't do it. So I was like, you know what? Like, let me take this time where I'm going to school to really focus and like really take in everything and try to do my best to be the best in the class, do all of that. Like, my goal to me was to win student of the month. Like, to me, that was what I used to think about. Like, get to class early, let my teachers see me doing my work and, answering questions. Like, that's kind of like what my goal was, because I had to give up my other goal, which was to get a car at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I would say like, I definitely did. I sacrificed a lot of my time. Like, I stopped doing a lot of things that I like. I stopped playing games for a while.
No more 2K?
No more 2K.
Did you play 2K?
I played 2K a lot.
I like 2K.
Yeah,
Madden.
2K Madden.
I'm not big on video games, but there's a couple I can
play. 2K was definitely like something. 2K was something I played every day. Me and my older brother every single day played that game. And that was like something I kind of gave up for a little bit. And playing basketball too, because I used to play in the league, and I was like, I gotta really focus on this. I don't want nothing distracting me. Like, I wasn't doing anything. Like, I was going to school, going home, studying, sleeping, waking up, and doing the same process over and over for 9 months. And there was like, back on what you said, like about times where I regretted it. Like, there was definitely times where I was like, dang, I feel like I'm missing out a little bit. But instead of letting that kind of override my mind and be like, oh, like, yeah, you could take a few days off, you could do this and you could do that. Like, it winded up, I winded up doing good and being fine, like going through my days and just keeping that same process over. And then to me, it winded up working even better because then my dad winded up helping me get a car. Mm-hmm. So, I feel like.
What was that car?
The same car you see me driving, the Honda Accord.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I forgot you just got out of high school.
Yeah.
We're still talking about like you still living the same story.
Pretty much. Yep.
You ever been tempted by fast money?
Nah. Like nothing. Like, there was definitely.
And would you say you thank your dad for that, for not having that mindset to make fast money?
Yeah, because he always frowned upon it. He always shamed up on it. I had friends growing up who sold drugs, who scammed, who did this and that. And like, I'm seeing them make, thousands of dollars a week sometimes, and they're my age. Like, I'm talking about 13, 14 years old. My one homie that I used to know, we haven't been friends in years. He had a brand new car when he was like 15 years old. Like, he just got his license and everything. Brand new car, like of that year too. So I'm like, like it used to make me feel bad. Like I was like, dang, but I used to tell my dad about it, and he was like, but God is watching. Karma's a real thing, and stuff like that comes back to get you, and it does. It 100% does, because I've seen it happen a million times with people in my family.
You gotta pay attention though. People will pay attention to the brand new car at 15, but they miss everything else that went bad because they're only noticing, the pretty stuff.
So I say, like, fast money to me, like, if there was a legitimate way, like, something that doesn't harm myself, or something that doesn't, like, that can, turn around and be bad on me in the future, 100%. Like, like if there was a side hustle that I could have did, like, I would have did it. Like there was side hustles I tried. Like I was doing car detailing for a little bit with my friends, which, it was pretty good. It was hard work, it was hard to find jobs sometimes, but it was pretty good. But other than that, like, I would say I never really like let that fast money tempt me. My mom was always real heavy with me on that stuff. She wanted to make sure I was the, straightest arrow on a bow or something, like it just, no, like, I kind of would say I didn't really mind the hard work. Like,
where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hopefully owning my own business, like doing my own thing. Like I definitely see myself out of Philadelphia. I want to get out of here. I've been here my whole life.
Where are you trying to go?
I definitely still want to kind of stay in the state, probably around, like, not too far from here, because I do got my family here, and I know that they all wouldn't move, and I wouldn't want to be too far from them. But I would say, like, somewhere like Willow Grove, Bristol, like, somewhere like, real chill, laid back, that doesn't get a lot of, like, heat and stuff.
You trying to buy a house over there?
Yeah, 100% buy a house. And then, but I really do want to see myself doing my own thing. Like, even if it's not HVAC, like, doing something though, like something that's like, generating me profit, or like, just something that I really do enjoy doing, like, and I do enjoy doing HVAC. I feel like it's a really good, like, job. Like, I feel like this job definitely made me a more, like, mature person with the mindset. Like with this job, I had to start waking up way early, like way earlier than I was before. Like, I work long days now, and it's definitely different than any other job I ever worked. It's a like, compared to the other jobs I had, it's a real job.
What are your hours like?
So I usually wake up early, like latest, like 5 a.m, and the job either always starts at 6:30 or 7. And it's like a regular 8-hour shift. They say it's like 7 to 3, but that's really like a lie, because we get out later than 3 every day. And it's really until whenever the job is done. And then I do work real far, because we don't do many jobs in the Philadelphia area. We kind of do like surrounding Pennsylvania. So like we're in Morton, PA, Westchester, Essington, like, Broomall, like places like that. So I'm pretty far from, like, where I live.
So a lot of driving?
A lot of driving. A lot of driving.
You get a work truck or no?
So at my old company, I had a work truck. This company, they don't start you off for a work truck. You got to work towards it, which I don't mind, because it's a really good company.
And you use your car?
I use my car sometimes, but I usually take rides. Like, I'd say like 4 out of the 5 days I work, I take rides with my coworker, because I live close to one of the guys that I work with. So, he picks me up, or I go to him all the time.
So what's life like outside of work? You do anything after work?
I don't play the game as much as I do, and I do regret it, because I feel like that was definitely something that, like, I always did, and it was definitely like a happy thing in my life. But usually when I'm not working, I try finding ways. Me and my dad and my older brother, we talk about a lot of ways to make money. We talk about a lot of different things to do, and we try to, like, come up with a plan and organize, like, what it is we can do. Look at what's trending, or look at what people want, so that we can do that type of stuff. And really, I try taking as much as my time off to, like, chill a little bit, like, to enjoy my days off. But, like, I also don't like being lazy. Like, I still like trying to do something, like whether it's going to the gym, playing basketball. I usually see my girlfriend when I don't work, and we usually go to the gym, or we do something else. Like, me and her, we even talk about, like, coming up with something to do. Like, she talked about a food truck not too long ago. or like, she wants to get into like, the self-care business, like, doing eyebrows, doing this and that,
Yeah.
and or even doing tattoos, because she's real good with drawing and stuff. Like, she's an artist. And I feel like I told her, I was like, yeah, whatever you want to do, I'm into it. Like, I will help you do it, because I just, I want to do something. Like, I want to figure something out in life.
Do you have any idea what that could be though? Like what you might shoot for?
So, I mean, other than like doing the HVAC, like, things that me and my dad and my brother have talked about, like, our main thing was that we talked about doing ourselves was definitely like the HVAC stuff.
Yeah.
Like, my dad always had a plan of it. Like, he was like, father, two sons, like, like, since me and my brother, like, we're not super far in age, we always seen ourselves like doing the work together, and this, like, always working with my dad. And other than that, like, we tried like looking at little things, like, doing selling things on Amazon, or like, going to flea markets and selling stuff.
I love going to the flea market.
Yeah, like, I feel like it makes, and you make good connections. I feel like when you're there,
definitely.
like, talking to a bunch of different people. And yeah, I would say like my main thing, like side work wise, like what I seen myself doing was the HVAC stuff, because I feel like that's one of the biggest perks that come out of like doing work like this. Like, you get to kind of expand your horizon, and you meet a lot of good people. People I work with at my company, like, they have a lot of knowledge because they're all way older than I am. Some of them have careers at my company longer than I've been alive, like 22 years at one company. And they spit a lot of knowledge to me. Like, they tell me a lot of things, and, like what I should do, and like how to make it doing this and stuff. And like, it's definitely things that I take into consideration, like on a day-to-day basis, like, but they say a lot of things that my dad told me growing up. So like that's what makes me appreciate my dad even more, because I know he was just trying to look out for me. Like I told you, even though like even the days where I'm mad at him or I don't agree with what he says, like, at the end of the day, I go to sleep and I'm like, yeah, like, he's just trying to help me. Because like in life, like, and a lot of people say this, no other man wants to see you do better in life more than your father does. And like, I feel like my dad, like, he really wants to see like me and my siblings like do better than what he did in life, and be at a better position, because he didn't have the easiest life to be where he wanted to be. So he wants us to be where we want to be, because then he'd be happy with that. Like, he'd be content with that.
You said you're not where you want to be right now. You're just getting started kind of thing. What lifestyle are you chasing?
I'm chasing like I definitely want to be low key, but I want to be comfortable. Like, I want to have that money. I want to have assets. Like, I want to kind of like, I've always been big on traveling the world. Like, one day there's definitely a time in my life where I want to be making money, even traveling the world, like going city to city, country to country, like, doing things like worldwide like that, but not something where I'm on the news or on social media or on a platform and everybody's like, oh, like, that's this guy. Like, that's not the type of life that I never want to be somebody that's noticed, because that's not something I care about. Like, I really don't. I don't like publicity. I don't like that stuff. I like living my life, being with my friends and my family. Like, I just want to be able to say that I made it in life. Because I feel like a lot of people don't get to say that. Like, I feel like,
what if to get there you got to get in the spotlight, man? Would you be, willing to step outside your comfort zone?
100%. If that's what it took, and that's what it like, came down to, and I had to like, kind of get uncomfortable to, how you said before, get comfortable, I would do it. Like, I would do it, because I feel like, as long as I'm still staying true to myself and I'm not doing anything that, ruins my character and the type of person that I am, I don't mind trying it. Like, I don't mind exposing myself to it and like trying to see like, oh, it's not that as bad as I thought. You know what I mean? Like, but I would do, anything legit to get where I want to get to in life. You know what I mean? Like, I'll try anything, as long as, there's a will, there's a way. Like, and I feel like that's true.
I don't know if you think about this too much, but what does retirement look like for you? Because people, they have their own definition of retirement. What does retirement mean to you?
So I don't see myself truly like never working. Like, I see
if the definition is to not work anymore, I don't see myself retiring.
Yeah, like, I don't see myself never not doing something. Like, even if it's in like 60 years from now, like, I still see myself like helping my kids do something. Like, like, even if it's work wise, business wise, like, I still see myself like doing that. But I do want to see myself like when I'm at that age, like I do want to see myself like living that life that I dreamt of as a kid. Like, as a kid, you watch movies and you see like these people living like cool, like, laid back lives, having that nice house, having that cool car, or like, just enjoying doing whatever they want to do.
What's your dream car?
A GTR.
A GTR, yeah, you told me up, yeah.
Yeah, that's the car that I've been in love with since I was a little kid. Like me and my brother he had a red poster, I had a blue poster. And then there was a poster of a Ferrari that we had. I forget exactly which one it was, but the Ferrari, that one, it was real nice too. But I say GTR is like
a brand new one.
Brand new one. I don't mind I like the old school ones too, the R30 the R34s and stuff, like the ones from Fast and Furious. Like I love those ones too.
How much would an old school one cost you?
Depends where you get it. When you want them like
$250,000.
Yeah, when you want them here and like when you try to get them here from America, they're more like popularized around here. Like they're more like luxury because Japan, that was Japan's car. Like that's where they came from. That's where they're made. Like you could go to Japan and see that car like it's normal.
And they got the right side drive.
Yeah, the right side drive. And then if you come here to America, it's like those cars are a lot more rare. They're exotic because they're not as easy to get your hands on. So like, you can run into some that are definitely like up there. Like the most expensive one that I seen online was like one of the older versions was like $230,000. Like they run you good money. I mean, but they're nice cars and they're iconic, like them movies definitely made them even more like,
hell yeah.
sought
I think that's the only reason I know about
the
GTR, the Nissan Skyline and all that.
100%. Yeah, that's when that car really got popular. Yeah. Like that's when that car really did. Cause
you ever drove right side?
No, never.
That seems like it would be crazy. You drive stick? You could drive stick?
I drove stick like maybe twice in my life. Like
I feel like that would be really hard. Like you shifting with the left and like.
Well, to me, I don't think it would be that hard because I'm left-handed.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I feel like
it'd be confusing for me just being so used to using it on the right. And then like you're starting all the way to the left when like I don't know, and then you got the clutch still on the left, I believe.
Yeah, and then I feel like
you're doing the clutch and like I'll be so confused.
Yeah,
man.
No, it's intimidating. Like seeing people drive stick. Like I got a friend who has a nice car, it's manual and everything. Like my first time ever seeing him, because he was probably the first person I seen like drive stick, like actually watch. Yeah. And I'm like, like that's
he's doing too much.
Yeah, he hitting the clutch,
I see his legs moving.
Yeah, it's like a workout in your own car.
But when you get used to it, honestly, it's like you become one with the car.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's crazy, bro.
Because they like people I've heard say they drive it. It's like you really feel in tune with the car. Like
I'm about to get my girl the BMW, the SUV, and get an older one. I want to get like an older 3 Series that stick, and then she don't know how to drive stick, so it's just me driving it.
Well, you know what they say
I've been trying to get that.
You know what they say about manual cars too? The transmissions are better on those.
Yeah, I feel like I guess you have more control,
Yeah, like you're not
RPMs and stuff like that.
Yeah, automatic cars, it's kind of like the gears and stuff, they're switching by themselves.
Because that's what breaks. Yeah. The automatic shifting,
Yep.
So if like you're shifting it yourself, there's not much that can break.
Nah, yeah.
What advice would you give 15-year-old you?
Stay focused and, don't listen to people. Like, what I always told myself, I would tell myself when I was younger, is to really just like lock in. Like I do wish that I kind of like studied what I do when I was a little younger, because there is a lot of money in it. Like there's like a lot of money to be made and there's a lot of things to know. Like I used to not think that what I do now goes into like as much depth as it does.
You mean HVAC?
Yeah, HVAC. Like
so. Even though you went right into it after high school, you wish you would have done it sooner?
A little sooner, yeah. Because
was that possible?
I feel like if I was involved with my dad more in doing it, I feel like it would have been more possible. Like I feel like I would have had probably more opportunities and stuff. Cause
now, would you be able to start school any sooner though? You still needed the high school diploma, right?
So the whole thing is like, to even do HVAC, you don't really need to go to school. Like it's not something that like you have to get that certification. And I don't know if there's an age limit on it. It's very possible that there is, because I know you can't get certain licenses until you're a certain age.
Because with barbering, you just have to be 16 years old and have 8th grade education.
Yeah, I know.
So you can drop out of high school and you can go be a barber.
I know times are a lot different because my dad, he started HVAC when he was young. I think my dad was like 18, 17 years old, so he probably started even younger than I was.
Yeah.
You know, but I do know that times changed and they started like changing the ages of a lot of things. So I think you needed to be at least 18 to do it.
Yeah.
But like, you know, that's to do it legally. That's to do it at a company.
Right. Because anybody could, you know, start cutting hair. You know?
Yeah, like, you don't need to be licensed.
Buy some clippers, you good.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Especially when you live in a city like this, like, you know, you could get work done. You just gotta be good at it. Like you gotta be able to do it. And I feel like if I would have let myself get exposed to it a little bit more, or at least like I understood it a little more, I just didn't put all of my time into that because I had other stuff going on in life. Like, you know, I was in school, I was thinking about a million other things. And then that's when I used to play a lot of games and basketball. My younger self, I just used to feel like I didn't have time for things that I definitely had time for.
Yeah. That's it, man. Just let everybody know, you know, how to get a hold of you and stuff like that, where to find you on Instagram and all that.
Yep. You know? So I don't really have a page right now. I was, like I told you, my last haircut, I'm thinking about getting the meta glasses to start recording what I do for work and, you know, posting videos like that to get it out of there. Like I'm still like in the works again Instagram because I'm not an Instagram. I don't use Instagram that much, but I will like definitely make a TikTok for it, and like probably within like the next week or so. Like I already kind of made a page. I didn't come up with a name. Or nothing.
Probably by the time this video drops, you'll have it. So what were you gonna go for when it comes to the ad name? So
when it comes, me and my dad were talking about a company name like the other day. Like we were just like, you know, messing around like if we were to ever make a company in the future. And he came up with the Airbenders. So I was thinking of putting like Airbender Joe or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then like, you know, kind of just having it like that. And then when my brother gets into this, and then my dad too, like, you know, we all make the page kind of like that. And yeah, I was just thinking of posting, you know, content on like my day-to-day basis, like the work process from 7 a.m. in the morning to whenever I finish.
That would be a hit, bro. 100%. Like, especially if you already, you know, out in the trenches with it. Like, get the meta glasses, start posting some stuff, like, you know, and that's like easy edits too. It's just you just chopping up on your phone.
Exactly. Just going through like the segments I think is important.
And just uploading shorts and reels and all that. But TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, those are like the main ones.
Yep.
And they got a bunch of other ones, man, but I don't get any action on there. Like I got them all too. I got Facebook, Twitter, even LinkedIn. But I just stay with those three. That's the main three.
I'd say the main motion I ever got was Twitch. When I played games.
I haven't even been up on like Twitch or Kick or none of that.
Yeah, because I know like the live streams on Twitch. I mean, you could do whatever streams you want on Twitch. Like I used to play games a lot on there, and I used to get viewers. Like I had a friend who used to get a couple thousand, and when I used to get his viewers, they used to come to my stuff and watch my stuff. But like, I'd say I haven't really like exposed myself like now to like YouTube or like I'm not big. I've never really been big on Instagram, like, but TikTok, I feel like is the move, like where it's at right now. Because I feel like that.
There's just so much opportunity on there. They have the best algorithm.
So much,
and the algorithm is almost too good that I don't even like scrolling on it.
Nope.
Because you know it's like pushing too much. We talk about this all the time, like how it just pushes like too much of what it thinks you like.
Yeah.
You know, and like and sometimes I'm like, I like it, but I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I get so many ads of things that I've like talked about buying or like, you know, wanting like car stuff. I get ads for like car lights or like
sometimes it won't even be an ad. They'll show me a video of somebody talking about something.
Like, and it'd be funny because they'll show my exact car, how it would look customized. I'm like, yo, like how do they know this?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. But appreciate you doing this,
man. Of course,
man.
Bro. Yep. Thank you for having me, bro.
Tap in with Teo.